I have 2 left foot then, sir.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, man. See the buckle of the Nigeria, you know. This is my show, and you will not drop word from me.
They even know them things.
DJ, I can't say that no. You're going to mash up some house.
You know, say Baba should just really there ready to make your cut.
So, what you cut before? The cut, okay.
Now I'm where I want to be.
The Cut is brought to you by Flow.
Make a move now, make a move now.
Hi everyone, my name is Kurt Dunn.
Greetings from Kali's Kelly Yoga.
Hey, it's Robin Morrison, and I am your National Physical Activity Specialist. And it's time to make a move.
Jamaica, let's get moving again. Season 2 of the Ministry of Health and Wellness Jamaica Move series is here. Join us Wednesdays at 5 a.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on CVM TV. Let's get moving.
Make a move now.
That jacket! When was you in the Temptation?
Steve knows style. Family Feud.
Brought to you by We Are the Caring Store, waiting to serve you. It's time to experience independent living. Visit us today.
It's Monday, November 4, 2024. This is CVM News at noon. I'm Ramon Gordon. Jamaica remains under tropical storm warning as potential tropical cyclone 18 moves closer, becoming better organized with the West Central Caribbean. The system currently located south of Kingston could develop into a tropical storm Raphael later today. The system will be near Jamaica by late tonight, bringing heavy rain, strong winds and possible landslides, especially in eastern and southern areas. Here's an update from Mr. Weatherman.
We'll bring this more toward our southwestern section, so we could get some winds of about 60-65 miles per hour. Falmouth back through Black River, about 105 kilometers an hour, 50 to 60 in our eastern end. Either way, the tropical storm conditions for us possible, or rather likely, as you get over toward Kingston, St. Anne's Bay, and then just a little bit stronger with the winds, Falmouth over toward western section. So that's the outlook for the winds. Could get some higher gusts too.
Meanwhile, schools will remain open Monday, even with Jamaica under tropical storm warning. Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon advised the school leaders to monitor local conditions and decide as needed. The ministry is in ongoing contact with the Meteorological Service, which predicts heavy rain by Monday evening. Schools may close if conditions worsen. Now, Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon is officially Minister of Education. In her first address, she voiced a strong commitment to improving Jamaica's education system, calling for stakeholders to unite and ensure quality education for all children.
I think we all in this country understand that. We understand that if our education ministry does well, we do well as a country. And so it is a very important portfolio. I only knew this morning that I was going to be taking on this role, but the Prime Minister has a vision for where he wants to take the country. And I think it's a good vision. And he has asked me to do this role. He feels that I can do this role well, and I will do it as well as I can, and I will work with the stakeholders, with the teams here, and also with the rest of the cabinet, because it's a joint effort. We all want to see this ministry successful, and so I know all the stakeholders are going to work together towards that end. We may view it differently. Like every stakeholder, even ones who we may think aren't necessarily aligned.
Public transport operators in Kitson Town, St. Catherine are protesting poor road conditions, claiming damage to their vehicles. They're urging authorities to take action.
From Dr. Ken Bar did nothing to do on this road. Not even straight. And look how long we have MP.
We need the road, my boss. We need the road. Want some attention towards the road.
We are asking bigger authority them to come help deal with the thing because the thing now look good on the street, brother. The road is not a pothole, them, you know, it's a pit. If we drop in it, all we net broke. See, the thing now look good on the road, brother. And we are pay tax. Yeah, the thing now look right, so we are begging no, please authority come deal with the thing now.
PNP supporters in Eastern St. Thomas Morant Bay Division are confident the upcoming by-election will go their way. This follows calls for a vote after former councillor Rohan Bryan passed away in May.
We are more than happy, and I am saying this without water in our mouth. We are anticipating the 6th of this month, when we will march out and show this country who is it that we are selecting to be our candidate. And on the 22nd, we are confident that we will be taking home back the Morant Bay division to the People's National Party, and we will then have a wonderful and proper political representative in this division.
Jamaica's Geography Awareness Month is underway, spotlighting AI-driven geospatial insights to address local and regional challenges. This year, with strong support from the private sector, the focus is on connecting technology with real community impact. Shantae McNeil has the details.
The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, MEGJC, in partnership with the Land Information Council of Jamaica, LICJ, has launched its annual Geography Awareness Month. This year's theme, AI-driven geospatial insight, transforming data into action, will drive a month-long series of events throughout November aimed at making geospatial technology more accessible and impactful for students, professionals, and communities. In her address on Tuesday, Chief Technical Director for the MEGJC, Authrine Scarlett, highlighted the increased private sector engagement this year, with businesses exploring GIS and AI-driven solutions to gain a competitive edge. This while outlining the activities planned.
So on November 1st, there is going to be a field trip to Bogtu Forest Reserve. And then jumping forward to November 13th, there is going to be GIS Innovate, a spatial solutions summit. There is going to be on November 20th, the 22nd National GIS Exposition. And here, innovation is going to take center stage. And so what we'll see is a showcase of the latest geospatial technologies and solutions transforming sectors from urban planning to disaster response and the whole gamut of the sectors.
Keynote speaker Professor Garfield Young encouraged citizens to embrace AI technology, stressing its potential to solve daily challenges in Jamaica and the wider Caribbean region.
AI's disruptive nature demands thoughtful consideration, ensuring its benefits are equitably distributed and its challenges addressed. As wise humans, we can use this technology as a tool for our good.
Chairman for LICJ, Leonard Francis, is encouraging citizens, especially the younger population, to take advantage of the opportunities presented in this year's Awareness Month, noting that it's an opportunity to see how data contained within technology can drive real-world solutions. For CVM News, I'm Shantae McNeil.
It's time for a break. More after this.
Jamaica Food and Drink Festival's Meat Street and the Market is back in partnership with the Port Authority of Jamaica. Saturday, November 9, 3 to 10 p.m. at the historic Naval Dockyard in Port Royal, Kingston. Food trucks, restaurants, and chefs galore. Enjoy CV pan chicken, Helsha-style fish, gourmet pastas, veggie delights, street eats, and so much more. Guided tours, live entertainment, and kids zone. Park and ride with JUTC. Meat Street and the Market. Saturday, November 9. Adults 2,000, children under 10 free. Tickets at JA Food and Drink Kitchen on Court, Content Spring, Candy Craze Waterloo, CPJ Market, and Geno's Pharmacy Portmore. Pay with Visa or buy online at jafoodanddrink.com.
SuperMed Family of Pharmacies, your trusted partner in health and wellness for over 30 years, with 8 convenient pharmacies across Eastern Jamaica. SuperMed Mall Pharmacy, SuperMed New Kingston, SuperMed Pepine, SuperMed Port Antonio Pharmacies 1 and 2, Claire's St. Mary, Lloyd's St. Thomas, and a convenient drive-through at our Hughenden location where you can get your medication without leaving your car. We're dedicated to providing you with the highest level of care. Experience the difference with SuperMed Family of Pharmacies. Super happy, super healthy.
And you go down and have a good day. Blessing. SuperMed.
Our days get a little complex sometimes. Often so many things make sense, yet so many do not. We are being intentional about giving prominence to the big stories in order to clarify and enlighten. Lead Story explains who, what, when, where, why, and how. Lead Story with George Davis, weekdays at 6:30 p.m. on CVM TV.
Welcome back. As the 2024 U.S. election nears, America's political landscape is more divided than ever. Top issues like immigration, healthcare, and the war in Gaza are shaping voters' decisions, with impacts reaching the diaspora and even Jamaica. Here to discuss the campaign dynamics is Jamaican-American news anchor Annalisa Gale. Miss Gale, again, thank you so much for joining us. Miss Gale? All right. We're going to be discussing the upcoming U.S. general elections with a reporter there on the ground, Miss Annalisa Gale. We're having some technical challenges, but we're going to be with her very soon. It's shaping up to be a very decisive election between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. And we're going to have that conversation now as we turn to international news, where Kamala Harris and Donald Trump make their final push to voters on the last day of campaigning before America chooses its next president. Now, Harris is set to campaign in Pennsylvania while Trump heads to Northern Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. He's covering a lot of ground there. Now, with polls showing a tight race over 75, that's 75 million people have already voted. Do we have you, Miss Annalisa? We have her.
Yes, I had to turn off the Wi-Fi. We're at Howard University. Pretty busy day here as we get ready for that election night watch party with Vice President Kamala Harris.
Right. Tell us, you know you're getting ready for the watch party. Paint a picture for the viewers here locally. What's the atmosphere like ahead of it?
Yes, right now, lots of security in Washington, D.C., here in the nation's capital, ahead of the election tomorrow, because we know there are lots of people who are on both sides. So it's a tight race. The polls have been showing it's been pretty tight between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. Right now, I'm at Howard University, Vice President Kamala Harris's alma mater, where they're getting ready for that election night watch party tomorrow, like I said. And this is the line with dozens of U.S. outlets, international outlets here to cover this race. Lots of security here on Georgia Avenue, which is the strip where the university is here, with lots of the students away right now because they had to close the campus down for the rest of the week to prepare for this huge day, historic day tomorrow night, being that election night watch party with Kamala Harris here at her alma mater, where she pledged Alpha Kappa Alpha, the sorority here on campus. And we know that, even downtown DC, we have started seeing some businesses being boarded up there as well. Lots of businesses shut down. Some federal workers have decided not to go to work tomorrow because of this election as well, because they are worried about, what the roads may look like as they try to return home.
It's an eventful day ahead of a very consequential election. I want to ask you, what issues do you see resonating most with voters this election cycle?
The economy, for sure. A lot of people are talking about the economy, especially the middle class right now. Everyone's wondering, what will this mean for my pockets? Lots of people watching the markets That was a huge topic on CNBC this morning. I typically listen to Bloomberg in the morning because everyone wants to watch their money. And they want, they're seeing how this is going to impact the market, the stock market, what will happen after this when it comes to housing. Lots of talks about how this generation, my generation, can't really afford to buy a home in Washington, D.C. So, lots of people looking to see how this election will impact their wallets.
A lot of very specific issues there. I wonder if you can perhaps give me some insight into voter demographics and how they're feeling. The Gen Z, the boomers, what specific issues are most important to them and what conversations are they having among themselves?
Yeah, I really sense that Gen Z, boomers, everyone is worried about what this will mean for their money. For the boomers, what this will mean for their retirement, depending on how the stock market reacts the day after the election. But I'm sensing that, the votes won't even be counted on the same day, to be honest. I don't think we'll have an election result the night of because of how close this race is. I'm sensing that it will take a couple days to see the reaction in terms of the market as well. Boomers, Gen Z really just, really worried about how they will manage in the next 10 years, having kids. Lots of talk, even in Jamaica right now, about the birth rate and, can people afford to have kids? That's really what Gen Z is focused on. Can they afford to buy a home, to have a family? Can they afford to feed their kids? Those are the things that people are worried about. I think a lot of it has to do with money.
Nice. This campaign cycle has been quite interesting. We've seen both candidates kind of adopt unconventional machineries to push their message. Kamala Harris, of course, is popular on TikTok. She's gained some notoriety there. So I want to talk to you about this election cycle with campaigning trends as compared to previous years. What have you observed as a reporter?
This year, I think there were so many unprecedented things that happened in this election from, people thinking that Joe Biden was going to be on the ticket at first. And then, the switch to Kamala at near the end there. Let's be honest, a lot of people thought that was pretty close to the end. So having now Kamala on the ticket, potentially she could be the first Black female president of the United States of America is a huge historic moment. Just having that potential there here, and even her coming back here to Howard University, one of the elite historically Black colleges here in the United States, where she went to college is just significance is definitely not lost there. She's doing this intentionally because she wants to send a message about how historic this is. And, I think a lot of people just looking forward to seeing what happens next after this election, given that I really don't think that either side is going to accept whatever the results are right away. I think it's going to take a couple days to get the results.
You said something that I think leads so beautifully into our final question. You're on the ground preparing to report on something that will be nothing short of historic. Now, as a media person, I'm pretty sure you're met with a lot of misinformation, a lot of false news that you have to contend with on the daily. How important is your role and the role of your colleagues this time around?
Yeah, it's been a really tough for me this election season because the divisiveness on both sides here in the country is just you don't even really want to mention politics at the dinner table anywhere because people are so divided over this election. So for me, it's just staying down the middle, telling people the facts. The important part is just to tell people what is happening, the truth. People want to hear the truth, even though there is a lot of skepticism about how much truth people think they're getting from the media here in the U.S. And I believe that happens a lot whenever you have an election that is this close. So telling people the truth from what I'm seeing, showing them images, being here tomorrow night at the watch party and just being honest about what is happening. I think that is the best I can do. And also just staying out of it because a lot of people have opinions and They have obviously very passionate opinions, and I just have to let them feel how they feel and just let them know what the results are.
Boy, Annalise, you have a long day ahead of you. A long
I
several
know.
hours packed with work. Go rest up, get some food, get some rest if you can. Thank you so much for joining us. A pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That
Bye.
was nice. That was news anchor and reporter from Washington, D.C. Her name is Annalisa Gale. And as we promised you earlier, here's that international story in the lead up to the U.S. elections.
The closing stages of this presidential race, as the two people aiming to take charge of the world's largest economy seek momentum and votes. Donald Trump used rallies to hammer home his message.
I will end inflation. I will stop the invasion of massive numbers of criminals coming into our country. Thank you very much, Kamala and Joe.
But his campaign had to clarify remarks about bulletproof glass, saying they weren't to do with harming the media.
And I have this piece of glass here, but all we have really over here is the fake news, right? And to get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news